Around 70,000 years ago, Earth was a far harsher place than we know today. Vast deserts expanded. Ice ruled the north, and humanity stood at the edge of extinction. Every human alive today, every culture, every language, every civilization can trace their roots back to one place, Africa. This is the story of the greatest journey ever taken, the moment humans left Africa and changed the world forever. For hundreds of thousands of years, Africa was humanity's only home. Early humans lived as hunter-gatherers, moving with the seasons, following animals, water, and food. They survived predators, droughts, and a constantly changing climate. But around 70 to 60,000 years ago, conditions began to worsen. Rainfall decreased, rivers shrank, and food became scarce. Staying in one place was no longer possible. To survive, humans had to move. Scientists believe a combination of climate stress and population pressure pushed humans toward the unknown. At the same time, sea levels dropped, narrowing the Red Sea and opening pathways that no longer exist today. What looks impossible now was once crossable. Small groups, perhaps only a few hundred people, stood at the edge of Africa. Behind them was a homeland that could no longer sustain them. Ahead lay lands no human had ever seen. They took the risk and stepped into history. The first migrants likely crossed into the Arabian Peninsula. They followed coastlines, rivers, and familiar environments, relying on seafood and small game to survive. This slow coastal migration carried humans across the Middle East and into South Asia. Over generations, some groups continued east, eventually reaching Southeast Asia and even Australia. Others turned north, pushing into colder and more dangerous lands. Outside Africa, survival demanded change. Humans faced ice ages, unfamiliar animals, and brutal winters. Skin tones adapted to different levels of sunlight. Clothing evolved from simple coverings into essential protection. Tools became sharper and more specialized. Fire was mastered, not just for warmth, but for cooking, protection, and survival. These changes were not planned. They were shaped by nature and necessity. As ancestors of modern humans migrated from Africa and spread across Eurasia, they were not alone. Neanderthals and Denisovans already lived in these lands. They were not monsters, but humans adapted to different environments. Sometimes they competed. Sometimes they interbred. Even today, traces of their DNA remain within us. But over time, modern humans survived where others did not. Slowly, humans reached Europe. Later, they crossed into the Americas. Eventually, they settled nearly every corner of the planet. What began as a desperate escape became the foundation of civilization. Agriculture, cities, technology, and culture. All of it traces back to that first step out of Africa. Every human story begins with movement, with courage in the face of uncertainty. We did not conquer the world with strength alone. We survived because we moved, adapted, and endured. That ancient journey still lives within us, written deep in our DNA.